Welcome to Stability Before Strength. My name is Oscar and I'll be your host. For previous videos, you can check out the channel. Hey guys, thanks for joining and welcome to our series on human muscle anatomy. Now we continue our series on human muscle anatomy of the lower leg with the third muscle. Now the third muscle of the lower leg is the Extensor Hallucis Longus. So the Extensor Hallucis Longus is also part of a group of muscles called the eccentric muscles. So you have 12 of them. Now hallucis is actually a very specific term that refers to your big toe. So it's just a fancy term referring to your big toe. So the name of the muscle gives a hint of what the action of what the muscle would do, such as the action. So in case you forget, just remember the name of the muscle often gives you a hint. Now the Extensor Hallucis Longus belongs to the anterior compartment of your lower leg. So these 12 extrinsic muscles divided into 4 different compartments. You have the anterior compartment, which houses the Extensor Hallucis Longus, as well as the tibialis anterior, the Extensor digitorum longus, and the peroneal tertius. Now the lateral compartment houses 2 muscles, your peroneus, peroneal longus, and the peroneal brevis. And you have the superficial posterior compartment, and that has 3 muscles, the gastrocnemius, soleus, and plantaris. The last one is called the deep posterior compartment. It also has 3 muscles, the tibialis posterior, the flexor digitorum longus, and the flexor hallucis longus. So, in what compartment can you find the Extensor Hallucis Longus? The anterior compartment. Good. Now, what are the other 3 muscles located in the anterior compartment? The anterior tibialis, tibialis anterior, the Extensor digitorum longus, and the peroneal tertius. Now, where in your body is the hallucis longus? Well, the hallucis longus is actually in the front of your shin. It's actually located lower part of your shin, and it's covered. It's between 2 previous muscles that we covered, the tibialis anterior and the Extensor digitorum longus. So it's actually situated in between those 2 muscles, and you can start back over here. So now that we know where it's located, let's find out where it originates. The origin of the flexor hallucis longus is the anterior fibula, which is back over here in the interossal membrane. So it's back over here. So that's where it originates. So it sits in between 2 muscles, tibialis anterior and the Extensor digitorum longus. So it goes all the way back over here, and the insertion point, it's going to travel all the way back here and insert back over here, called the distal phalanx digit 1, or big toe. So that's where it inserts. So where does it originate? It originates in the anterior fibula and interossal membrane back over here. And where does it insert? It inserts in the distal phalanx of digit 1, just remember big toe, back over here. So what will be the action of the Extensor Hallucis Longus if it inserts here and it originates over here? Remember the name of the muscle. It's going to extend the big toe only, but it also assists in dorsiflexion and inversion of the foot. And now you can kind of see the muscle coming back over here. You can definitely look at the tendon. So it actually has very specific actions. The action dorsiflexion and inversion, it's actually known as supination of the foot, and it's very specific to only a few muscles of the ankle joint. So dorsiflexion and inversion equals supination. But remember, it's a primary action. It's to extend the big toe. So extend the big toe, dorsiflex, and invert. And that's the action of the Extensor Hallucis Longus. Now that we know the actions of the muscle, let's go over the muscles that help assist the Extensor Hallucis Longus. Now, synergists include the tibialis anterior and Extensor digitorum longus, which dorsiflex and invert the foot, supination. But the main synergist is the Extensor Hallucis brevis. Now, what are the other synergy muscles that assist the extensor hallucis longus? The tibialis anterior and extensor digitorum longus. But the main synergist, extensor hallucis brevis. Now let's find out the muscles that go against the movements of the muscle, the antagonist muscles. Antagonist muscles include the flexor hallucis longus and the flexor hallucis brevis. So pretty much the opposite. Instead of extensor, flexor hallucis longus and brevis. Now, can you name the antagonist muscles of the extensor hallucis longus, the flexor hallucis longus, and flexor hallucis brevis? Now, the nerve that innervates the muscle is the deep peroneal or fibular nerve, and then the artery of the extensor hallucis longus is the anterior tibial artery. Now, can you name the nerve that innervates the extensor hallucis longus? The deep fibular or peroneal nerve. Now, what is the artery that brings blood to the extensor hallucis longus? The anterior tibial artery. So now that we know what the extensor hallucis longus does, what's an exercise that we can do to target that specific muscle? Well, sitting toe kicks in. We can do this exercise sitting down. First, we can extend the big toe, then dorsiflex the foot, and then finally evert the foot in. Now, you want to pretend that you're kicking the ball in. Now, you want to repeat 15 to 20 times to increase the strength of this muscle. Now, for people who pronate when walking or running, this is a great exercise to do. Now, you can think of the extensor hallucis longus as the big toe muscle to help you recall the information we just learned. Now, what's a stretch that we can perform to help stretch out the extensor hallucis longus? Now, you can think of all the actions, movements of the muscle, and just do the opposite. It should look like this. Now, you can sit down on a chair, you're going to lift up your big toe, and you bring it across your knee, and you're going to perform a stretch with your hands. So you're going to have your opposite hand pull the big toe down into flexion, drop your foot into plantar flexion, and also try to evert your foot. Now you're going to gently apply pressure with your hand until you feel the stretch. And you want to hold it for about 15 to 30 seconds and repeat 3 to 4 times a day to help stretch the extensor hallucis longus. Now let's quickly recap everything we just went over. Now, where is the muscle located? In the anterior compartment. Now, what are the other 3 muscles of the anterior compartment? The tibialis anterior, extensor digitorum longus, and peroneal or fibular tertius. Now, where does it originate? In the anterior fibula and interosseal membrane. Now, where does it insert? Remember the name? Distal phalanx digit or big toe of digit 1. Now, what are the actions of the muscle? The primary action is to extend the big toe, MP and IP of digits 1, but also assists in dorsiflexion and inversion of the foot, supination. Now, name the other synergy muscles. Now, tibialis anterior, extensor digitorum longus, but the main synergist is the extensor hallucis brevis. Now, name the main antagonist muscles, the flexor hallucis longus and flexor hallucis brevis. Now, what is the nerve that innervates the muscle? The deep peroneal fibular nerve. What is the artery that provides blood to the muscle? The anterior tibial artery. Now, you can think of the extensor hallucis longus as the big toe muscle, and that will help you recall the information we learned. Okay, I think you guys got it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to join me next time as we continue our series on muscle anatomy of the lower leg. Have a great day.